On fucking what was it? What's the site with all the crafting stuff that people go on?
Oh, there's LOL Pro. There's
What's the one that
I use LOL Pro most of the time.
Yeah, LOL Pro, and it gives you the guides.
Yeah.
And it tells you you should buy this and you buy that. And I read a couple right after I'd played Annie for a little. I was like, okay, so fair enough. There's some ideas there, and I learned some stuff, right? And it improved my Annie playing, and that's fair enough. But I don't really know. I don't like in Hearthfire and stuff. There's no balance. The problem in LoL that I can they can still kill me. Even though I have the best build in the world, I can still die.
Yeah, but
unless I play Uncle Shogi, but that's different.
But if you're playing Annie,
yeah,
and you've snowballed,
right,
yeah. So the person you're in lane with, you've snowballed. You've got a couple of kills on them. You've done a couple of flash tippers and nuked them out and everything else. So we'll ignore the fact that you can't farm for Jack anyway. So we'll presume the fact that you could farm a bit.
You had to get that in there, didn't you? You had to. You had to get that in there.
That's the one thing I could do better than you in LoL, no matter what we do.
I still beat you in LoL.
Shut up. We never played properly. Anyway.
I beat you.
Shut up.
The one-on-one that we had.
The one-on-one, the one where I did fuck all for 20 minutes trying to teach you how to farm, and I still out-farmed you at the end. But anyway. Right, and I played a character I never played before. But you're going off topic, right? The simple fact is that one-on-one, if you snowballed ahead in LoL, you cannot beat them.
Why not?
Because it's the same as everything else. It's all about the power that comes with that. If you got high level, everybody, both team players, full health, the other players.
So where does that happen in Counter-Strike? Or games like that?
Oh, what you mean Counter-Strike? You mean what? So somebody has a couple of bad rounds and you've got no money, and the other side's got all the money. Where's the balance in that?
You still buy a gun.
You snowball.
You still buy a gun.
Not if you're completely out and you've got eco round.
Right, you're talking about competitive Counter-Strike or just...
Doesn't matter. Any form of Counter-Strike. If you've got to the point where... Right, even worse, if you've got a shit team who just stand there going... Nah, and then get shot... Or you've got me on your team, in which case I just stand around the corner and then get shot because I have the reactions apparently of some sloth. It becomes an issue where that then snowballs, and that's not balanced. That's the one thing that, for example, that LoL can do, and not LoL, WoW does, is eventually you could get there. There's very little stopping you if you're willing to put in the time and effort. I mean, a lot of the only reason, particularly, even we were raiding, the last thing that we did, we were raiding. I mean, you didn't even level up your character. Your character just followed mine for like 3 weeks, and I leveled you up.
Did I raid?
You raided a bit of Ice Crown, and that was it. You played your priest, and then you got bored because it took like 3 hours to kill one boss.
Yeah, it was really dull. It was like I just wanted to fight. I just didn't. And I had to sit there and it's like heal, spam, heal.
Well, you should have played the DPS.
Yeah, anyway. But even DPS is just like 1, 2. There's no skill. I'm not sitting.
Yeah, but there is a certain amount of skill in it because you have to be able to hit your buttons in the right order in order to output your DPS. How difficult the skill that is minimal. But when you consider it to fighting games, for example, there's probably not a lot of difference.
Well, here's the thing, right? You play fucking Tekken, right? Let's go back to good old... Or Street Fighter. Let's go back to the good old fucking days of gaming, right? Which, they're not all that good. I mean, I have to say there's some great games out there at the moment. Like DayZ, and DayZ Mod, and Arma, and...
Shut up! Get on with your
Arma's
point.
balanced, because, it's like... Okay, even if a guy can have an Apache fucking helicopter, I can still kill him with a rocket launcher. Winning. Right?
How do you get the rocket launcher?
You have to go find it.
Exactly.
Well, it depends. It depends what game you're playing, but let's not go there because the armor's...
We'll argue about this for ages, but I'd still argue the fact that that's not balanced because it's easier to find a helicopter than it is a rocket launcher.
Bollocks! It's harder to find a helicopter than a rocket launcher, actually.
How? How can you even say that? A helicopter?
Not DayZ.
I know exactly where they are. They'll be at the airfield. Yay! Find airfield, find helicopter, find rocket launcher. Well, unfortunately, Asda don't sell those.
Well,
Although,
Walmart
maybe
does. I think Walmart in America does. They seem to sell fucking everything else. She's seen the bullets.
Anyway.
So... bollocks. Here's the point, right? Here's the thing for me, right? Theory crafting is killing gaming. It's taking it to, it's like, that's why I like Minecraft. That's why I like doing creative stuff, because competitive gaming is now all about ye who can theory craft the most, ye who can listen to the most fucking YouTube videos, ye who can spend the most time fucking sitting working it out. There's no skill. And I think the skill needs to be put back into gaming. There needs to be more skill based and less fucking gear based and less leveling up and stuff. It should be about the skill. It should
Yeah,
be
but
about
you look at Smite then. Smite is like the biggest gaming explosion right now is MOBAs. MOBAs are taking over the planet. They're being made daily. New ones are released, and they all come up with different quirks and the basic same principle.
Mhm.
So again, our experience is mainly LoL. We've played a little bit. Now I've played Smite, which is basically all skill shots, all everything else. Nothing is there, and you're playing in basically an FPS version. At least I did. I only played it for a little bit. I couldn't get my head around it, and I prefer LoL. That's just a personal preference. I'm not here. We can have an argument over what mode is best later. But for me, that wasn't an enjoyable game because suddenly it goes out of the basis of in League where even with the smallest amount of knowledge, I was able just to jump back in and be able to take over. I knew what I was doing and I was doing everything else, but there was always things which can help you, and it was you don't necessarily need to know a lot. I mean, you look at when you started playing Cho'Gath. The system isn't, because it's not so skill shot reliant, and it's like, okay, you just need to hit this, you got that. It suddenly becomes a much easier game to play, and people now, why you stand there and say theory crafting doesn't happen? You still theory craft yourself, right? The only difference is now is the sharing of information. Whereas before you might have kept your secret idea in those, right? You might not have given away all your things for knife running, and you never showed your roots, which you did. Your knife running videos, which you put out there, were edited and were showing in such a way that you didn't show you running around and doing all of it.
I
didn't show those
videos at the end of the show notes. Okay.
Yeah. But even that, in the end, somebody could have gone and watched that, looked at that, and then had a look. Actually, thinking about it, I think you might have actually put the perks on the end of the video. I haven't watched it in a while, but that's the thing.
I didn't put perks.
But that's the thing, though. It's just
Call of Duty
learning
didn't have that many
experience,
perks.
and that's the thing.
It was running, free falling, commando, and the knife one, which meant I could get a further leap on the knife, which meant I could close them down quicker.
Yeah, but that's right. Somebody could have sat down and figured all of that out.
Yeah, it was really
but
easy.
most people don't. I don't think people sit there. What they do is they have a look and then they'll go, okay, let's do this, and then they'll use a bit of experience to do it. I don't think there's anybody who can theory craft a game without playing it, without having experience, without doing it, no matter how good you are.
Bollocks. I think there's people out there now with certain games like World of Warcraft or the sort of the card games like Magic and stuff who could never have played Magicka, and they could sit and learn and craft and build the best deck in the world without ever playing the game.
No, I don't think you do, because I think you still need that ability to be able to understand the positions and what to do in situations.
Never played a game and test it and see if they've got.
Right, we're off to Africa to go and find some Ethiopians.
Can you mute the game because we might be getting feedback?
No, it's muted. See?
Okay. Yeah, so, here's the thing, right? For me, the balance of a game should be balanced enough that skill always outwits gear, right? Or, like, level, or, basically there should be a balance where the pinnacle of the balance should be that your skill, if you're very, 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 very skillful, that should always out-fucking do somebody higher level, Always.
But at what point does that start to actually just make games go back to the old days where if you had to either put in hours and hours and hours of practice in order to get somewhere in the game versus, do you know what, I quite like this game, I want to play it. I'm not very good at games. I just, most of the time, don't give it the sort of respect that they deserve, I guess.
Yeah, but
then
all you're doing is getting these fucktards that are coming in and spending 80 fucking days a week theory crafting, and then they just sit there and go, so all you're placing one set for a deck, you're submitting one set for a different one, and the thing is, at least with the set that I'm talking about, skill-based, you can still always get one up on them, where with your system, with this whole theory crafting up there, so once they're up there, you can't get near them.
But you stand there and you say that, but they still, even if you took two people, somebody who was incredibly skilled, you got two games, right? Let's just argue and say there was a game like Hearthstone, and we got 2 people. I
Okay.
think we gave somebody a Theory Crafter and didn't let him play,
Mhm.
and we gave the other guy, and he could only ever play the game, and he couldn't unlock cards. He couldn't sit there and write anything down. He had to just look, see what cards they are, put them into his deck. He had nothing which he could use. He couldn't write anything down. He could store anything. He had one deck. He had to use that deck and just keep building it until he got to the point where he could do
Theory
it.
Crafter would win.
Right. Not at all, because he
Totally.
wouldn't. The Theory Crafter might be
Totally.
able to have the really good deck, but he wouldn't be able just to turn around and go, "What do I do in this situation?"
The Theory
Experience
Theory
beats
Crafter-
Steam Theory
Theory
Crafters.
Crafter would kick his ass. They would
Not
knock
at
him
all.
over so hard. They would, yeah,
How?
because they would have the perfect deck.
Yeah, but the perfect deck still could be beaten.
No, it can't.
The perfect
Bollocks.
deck.
Not in these
Because
games.
that's what you're arguing about.
It
Because
can't.
the experience, skill in a lot of things is just experience.
Mm-mm.
There's no game on the planet where you can argue that anybody is so skillful at that they could just pick it up and do it.
Most
Nothing.
FPS gamers can.
But you still have to have experience. Skill comes from experience and learning and understanding.
Not
right?
always, but sometimes there's
You
natural.
can't put a
But there's
Counter-Strike.
natural skill there as well.
You can't pluck a
Are you, so
Counter-Strike.
are you saying that every single person that plays Counter Strike is the only reason they're good at it is because they played non-stop? There's no natural skill there.
There's always going to be things which are going to make you better. Reaction time, for example.
Yeah, reaction
and things.
time.
But it's not going to make you can't go into a game and go, right, okay, let's go and pluck a Counter-Strike player and chuck him into, I don't know, Battlefield. Or World
Yeah.
of Tanks.
Yeah, no, do fine. Well, World
They'll
of Tanks,
probably do,
World
they'll
of
probably
Tanks
do
is-
okay, but
World
they're
of
not...
Tanks not an FPS, by the way.
Well, it is. You drive around and shoot things. Okay, it's a third-person shooter. But I'm just picking up games which are, like, big at the minute.
Okay,
Right?
so-
Anything, right?
So
But
you
that'll
can-
be,
you
but
can
by
get
your
Counter-
logic, they'll
okay.
be taking Bergson, who's one of the best LoL players, and going, right, okay, you're probably the most skillful LoL player currently, right? Or Faker. Faker's probably the greatest skill player in LoL currently, okay?
Mhm.
The guy does things which... They just turn casters to silence. They have no idea what's going on, right? You put him into Dota, practically the same game. There's a lot of champions which are the same, right? He's still going to get his ass kicked.
Yeah,
But-
because it's all about fucking crafting and gear and leveling up. Where you
No,
take-
you gave
let
him-
me
you gave
finish.
him a full
Let me
level
finish.
account.
Let me finish. You take a Counter Strike player and you put him into Battlefield 4, right? And give him a sniper rifle. He will fucking still learn, and that's the
No, I
difference.
don't believe that. I don't believe that because it still
course
take
you
over.
don't.
No, because you still got to learn. Right, you're chucking him in. You won't know where the roots are. You won't know where the guys
Yeah,
are,
but
and
it
you still
doesn't
get
matter
killed.
because his skill is bollocks. He'll still have the same the same level of skills, and he can apply that to different things. DayZ, for example, right? You could take somebody who's been a Counter Strike player and put them to DayZ, and I guarantee they'll be a lot more fucking better than somebody who can play. And that's the point, because it's not all about the fucking character. It's not all about the level ups. It's not all about, oh well, I've got 16 level 17 character with all these add-ons. I can take a skill, a sniping skill, and I can take that sniping skill. And the thing is, I can take skills from the outside world and apply them into games. You can't do that in World of Warcraft. You know, you can't win. Like, it's bollocks, right? Here's
Yeah, but but that's not the point. The point which I'm trying to say to you is that skill does not define everything.
It does,
Because you
it
need
should
the
do.
knowledge to go with it.
Yeah,
Just because you got the best. Let's be honest. Skill in gaming is reaction time.
No,
That's
it's
what it
not.
is. It's the ability to react quickly
No,
and accurately.
bollocks, I disagree.
That's it.
I disagree.
Well, FPS is your ability to move and shoot.
Yeah, move, shoot, cover, think under fire, think under pressure.
Yeah, but no.
But
That's it. It doesn't
that's
matter. But,
important. That's not reaction time.
but skill, right? Knowing cover. But if you don't know where the cover is and you don't know where your cover is from,
Well-
ergo experience in games will still beat the
But I
best.
can
most
still
skillful
play. I
player.
can still play an FPS. Like, say for example, Armor 2, right? Or say Armor, right? Let's say, right, and I can play a game, and I can be in a combat situation, right? And I can still apply the knowledge of, right, I need to get to cover, so I can still look around me. If I'm smart enough, then before I even engage in a fight, in a battle, I'll be in a point where I know where my cover is, and I'll be looking about and stuff. I can apply that ability. I can apply those skills. I can take, for example,
no.
let me finish. I'm not finished here, right? So I take I take a game, right? I take my armor game, and I'm crawling through the bushes, right? And I start getting fired upon. The first thing I do is I have a set of fucking things that I'll do, right? The first thing I'll do is if I'm taking fire, is I'll be looking for cover. It doesn't matter what game I'm playing. If I'm under fire, I'll be looking for cover. And if I don't have, if I'm sitting out a sitting duck, that's the first thing. Second of all, I'll probably do is balloon, or expressions go crouch low, make yourself a smaller target. It's called ballooning, right? I automatically will make myself a smaller target. There's a certain things you do that I could apply to
Yes.
any game, but there